Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hollywood Actor's Guide to Surviving the Film and Television Industry. This is your host, Jennifer Lynn Warren. Welcome to 2021. How's it going for you guys? I'm going to tell you a story, and it is very, very embarrassing. Here I am with this podcast, pretending to be this authority on a subject, which, by the way, I do not think I'm an authority. I just happen to know a bunch of stuff that I want to share, right? But, that comes with some credibility. So one should assume that I would know whether or not I have an agent. So to be clear, I do have had 2 agents. I work in the Southeast, so I have an agent out of Louisiana who I love. She is family, and this story is not completely about her, though she comes in later at the end. This story is about the Los Angeles agent I believed I had. I'd been doing okay with this agent, going out on a decent amount of auditions that I would always get through my manager. And then about a year and a half ago, things started to slow down, and sometimes your type just gets out of season, or sometimes the industry does wonky things, or who knows why sometimes you get 1 million auditions and sometimes you get 0. It's just like playing the lottery, right? Well, this year, the start of the year, I decided, as part of the whole New Year's, new renewal, let's get all of my ducks in a row, I called up my agent. I then found out that my agent had dropped me quite a while ago. My agent had told my manager had not told me. So that was a very awkward conversation with that agent. Apparently they still represent me commercially, which is why I wasn't completely confused, because they're still showing up on all of my Actors Access, LA Casting, all of those places. They're still showing up there. They didn't disappear, and that would have been a clue, right? But they had done what an agent is supposed to do. They're supposed to tell your manager. So I email my manager, being a little sly, going, hey, so who's repping me theatrically these days in Los Angeles? Which is what a crazy email to send from an actor, right? Of course I know what happened. And I get this weird reply to him, from him. He's like, oh, isn't it so-and-so? And I emailed him back. I was like, no, I just got off the phone with them. They dropped me. And I get this email back that said, oh yeah, I forgot about that, LOL. So I took a day to breathe because I wanted to send the most vile email back to my manager. And I calmly explained to him in a very short sentence. It was pretty much, look, I'm looking for a team that won't drop the ball on something this important. So I'm going to have to sever our relationship. So I severed ties with my manager. So I find myself at the top of the new year without an agent and without a manager. And instead of feeling really scared and worried, I actually feel very freed from that. I had made a Facebook post about it to my close friends, and my Louisiana agent, who's a doll, saw that, called me on the phone, which is what you want your agent to do, to see what had happened, to see if there's anything she could do. And she said that she would submit me to the casting directors out here because she used to be an agent out here, that she's close with, until I could find somebody else. That is a real agent. That is somebody you want in your corner. And so I just want to tell you this story as a warning to you, my friends and fellow actors and actresses. Make sure that you are not getting screwed with, that people aren't screwing around with your career in your life. Hold them accountable. If they don't want to return your phone calls and they aren't telling you very important information and they treat you like a second-class citizen, drop them. They're not worth it. In fact, they're probably hurting your career more than they are helping it. So I'm going to embark on agent seeking, though I'm not really feeling much in a rush for that. But it's kind of great to take your own career into your own hands and have that personal accountability. And we should be acting as if we don't have agents and managers anyway on our day-to-day basis. So if you have any horror stories about agents that you'd like to share, if you send a audio file to hollywoodactorsguide@gmail.com, I would love to hear your stories. So growth is innate, right? If you don't develop, relationships die. Think about a romantic relationship that you've been in that just started to stagnate. The passion just left and you lost interest, right? The same thing can happen with casting directors, or your agent or friends and things like that. So let's talk about how we can keep growing as human beings, and that will help us grow our acting life and lives as artists and even our career. And the first thing you really need to do is, as cheesy as it sounds, like you need to love yourself. You have to really love yourself, not in that narcissistic, annoying way, but truly care about the artistic work that you do and value yourself as a human being. When you start to value yourself, others start to value you. And the second thing you need to do is you need to forgive. You need to forgive, and I've already done this work, though it was really hard. I've forgiven my former manager and agents. You need to forgive casting directors who have never called you in, directors who have never booked you, because if you're holding on to this hate and that typical like actor drama of like, oh, no one loves me in this town, I'm going to throw myself from the Hollywood sign, then you're carrying that ickiness around with you and people can feel it and it interrupts your art. So work on forgiveness. Number 3, you need to stand your ground. You need to know what kind of career you want. You need to know what kind of roles you're right for and what you're willing to read for, and stop just accepting any audition. Sorry, I got to put my cat off the desk. He's interrupting our podcast. Sorry, honey. I'm standing my ground with my cat right now. Right now, my podcast is more important than cuddle times with my wicked kitty, which is what I call him. So stand your ground. Number 4, figure out what you like. Like, what kind of movies do you like? When you're meeting with an agent or you're talking to them on the phone and you're talking about your career, knowing the types of films and movies and actors that you like is really going to help steer your career. Number 5, let new people into your life. If you are not in acting class, then you know how I feel about it. Like, you need to work with new artists and new creatives. If you can't afford acting class, you can join We Audition a month with the discount HAG25. I think it's like $7 and something. And you can go on there with scenes and get readers for free. You should tip them if they do a great job, but you can go on there and you can meet other people and you can connect with people in your area and meet new artists. And sometimes the greatest moments I've had on that site have not just been reading with actors and finding great actor things. It's usually when we're done running the scenes and they're done with their self-tape or whatever, and we just take a moment to breathe and we get to know each other, and then we're following each other on Instagram and we're keeping up with each other. We're talking about doing projects together. So let new people into your life. Number 6, don't be afraid to be yourself. This business tends to like to try to give us ideas of what we should be molded into. I just auditioned to play the mother of an actor of which I am only 1 year older than in real life. And I could have sent that self-tape in trying to age myself. And you know what? I was like, screw it. I'm just going to be me because I want to book the room. I know I'm not going to book the role. This is insane and crazy. but I'm going to be me and I'm going to be myself, because that is how you build a career, and that's how you build trust and friends and all that other fun stuff. Number 7, discover new things. So if you're not living life, then you've got no life to live in your art, and you've got nothing to bring to the roles of your characters. So pick up a hobby. If you've been wanting to learn how to play piano, start learning to play piano. Get new skills and find new fun things to do. Number 8, keep people in your life that you need, and get rid of the people in your life that you don't need, that are negative Nellies, that make things difficult and are horrible to you. Number 9, take responsibility for your actions. So if you don't have the right headshots, or you don't have enough real footage, or if you're not memorized on your auditions, then you need to take responsibility for that and stop coming up with excuses, and know that you are the reason why you are where you are in your career right now. Number 10, listen to your own instincts. Often we know what needs to be done, but sometimes we're just too scared to move. But, listen. You think your gut knows. Number 11, set your goals high, which, you guys want to be actors. That is a pretty darn high goal. But what I think would help here is, if you have not gotten that first co-star, you want to go after the first recurring co-star, because then that 2-line co-star is going to be a cakewalk if you're training for the next level up, right? You need to train for the next level up, not for the lead. Unless you're ready to handle that, then you're ready to handle that. More power to you. Number 12, know your strengths and weaknesses. And number 13, reflect upon who you are. Not just what your brand is, not just what your resume says, but who are you? What do you stand for? And from all of this journaling that you can do with all of these questions, you're going to find a lot of growth potential here. And our last little segment here, should have done some tongue twisters before I started recording. I usually do. I was just excited watching the inauguration today. I think I just got sidetracked. Anyway, the last little thing is never be boring. We don't make film and TV or theater to watch characters be boring. Now, are there boring movies? Yes, of course there are. And that's because it's really hard to make a great movie. That's why it's boring. Not because the director is like, you know what I want to do? I want to make a really boring movie. I don't know of any movie where that's actually worked. Now, you may find a certain genre boring, but I guarantee you there's a subset of people out there that find it absolutely riveting and spend their money on it, right? Like French noir films, right? That's an acquired taste. But that audience isn't bored that's spending their money on those films. And those actors in the films are not boring. Whatever they're doing with their characters, these scenes, if you're writing or you're directing, you're assembling important moments in characters' lives. These are the moments in their lives that you want to hear about when you call up a friend on the phone and you're asking them what's going on, right? The only time we show a mundane moment in a character's life is often to garner sympathy for the struggle they're going through, or we need to understand where this character is coming from to appreciate where they're going later in the story, right? But in your auditions, never be boring. That being said, if you guys have not signed up for weaudition.com yet with promo code HAG25, you can go on there, grab a reader 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have readers from all over the world. So when you have an audition, go to weaudition.com, use promo code HAG25, and I will see you on there. So break a leg and